Building out your smart home can be a lot of fun and a little bit addicting. My smart home has grown quite a bit with more and more products from many different brands, resulting in lots of automations and lots of potential for clutter and issues. Today, I wanted to share with you 5 not so obvious tips that I've learned over time that I think will really help you too as you continue to build out your smart home with HomeKit. Some of these tips might just save your smart home one day. Let's go! Yo, what's up guys? Thanks so much for joining me for another video. My name is Shane if you're new here, and this channel is all about building an easy smart home using Apple's HomeKit with new videos published every Sunday. I've also been live streaming every week, so be sure to turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next time I go live. So I wanted to make this video to share some of the tips that have really helped me. These tips will help you as your smart home grows, just to maintain, organize, troubleshoot, and of course just enjoy your smart home setup. Now, one common theme across most of these tips is actually going to be utilizing third-party apps for HomeKit. So third-party apps give you the ability to do a number of things with HomeKit that you really can't do with the native Apple Home app. I recently added a new page on my website sharing all of my favorite third-party apps for HomeKit. I'll be sure to put a link down below in case you want to check that out. But first, some quick love to our sponsor for today's video, trendmicro. This is actually a bit of a bonus tip for you. So I've been using the trendmicro premium security suite for the past 2 or 3 years to protect all of my devices against malware, viruses, ransomware, and other threats, and I definitely recommend it. You can use this for up to 10 devices, and it's super easy to set up and protect all of your family's devices, iPhones, iPads, laptops, PCs, all of them, it doesn't matter. It also turns any public hotspot into a secure connection with a VPN, which is really important to have. And you also get access to other great tools like identity theft protection, parental controls, and 24/7 emergency assistance. Check out the link in the description for 10% off of your purchase for the Premium Security Suite. And big thanks to trendmicro for protecting me and all of my devices and for sponsoring today's video. So as more and more products hit the market that support HomeKit, there are many different features, and it might be kind of tough to know what's what. For example, which ones support Thread, which ones support HomeKit Secure Video. Some might support HomeKit, but not HomeKit Secure Video. That's where an app called Home Devices comes in. It claims to be the ultimate HomeKit database. Sure, you can always look at the HomeKit Devices page on Apple's website, but what's great about the Home Devices app is that it actually gives you a little preview of all of the features each device has, as well as other information like all the attributes that will be exposed to HomeKit, automation events and conditions, which other apps the device requires, and much more. This is really awesome. It's kind of like a preview of the device on your iPhone before you ever actually purchase it. You can add devices to a wish list and find links to Amazon to purchase any new products that you might want. You can easily see which devices out there support Thread or support adaptive lighting or HomeKit Secure Video. And as a bonus, the developer even includes a section where you can see all the latest HomeKit focused blogs and content from creators such as myself. So not only is it a great resource as a catalog for HomeKit products on the market, but it's also a great way just to kind of see the latest content and news that's all about HomeKit. And also, if you're ever curious about which HomeKit products I personally use and recommend, I do have a recommended products page over on my website with categories and filters and all that, showing you all the products that I have personally used and that I can recommend. And if I've ever made a video about a certain product, I always embed that in the individual product pages over on my site, which hopefully, will just help you make a informed, good decision when you're out there searching for new products to add to your smart home. Tip number 2, storing HomeKit codes. The last thing you ever want to do is have to reset one of your devices, 2 years from now, but you can't because you lost or don't have the HomeKit code anymore. So you can use apps like HomePass or Controller for HomeKit to store HomeKit codes. You'd be surprised how handy this can be if you ever remove a device and then maybe re-add it later, or maybe for the holidays, which is something that I do pretty often. If you ever move from one house to another, things like that. Sometimes you just might have to factory reset a product and re-add it to HomeKit. And it's nice to have these HomeKit codes all stored in one place. And plus, it's way easier to scan a HomeKit code from your watch than having to like crawl under a Christmas tree to get to that HomeKit code that's stuck on the bottom of your little smart plug. And a helpful little tip, if you end up using the HomePass app for storing your HomeKit codes, use the Eve app every time you want to add a new product to HomeKit, because when you add a new device in the Eve app to your HomeKit home, it'll give you an option to add the HomeKit code to the HomePass app during the setup process. So this is a nice way to make sure that you don't forget to save those HomeKit codes every time you add a new device to your HomeKit home. Tip number 3, organization. Like I said in the beginning, this can be an addicting hobby. You'll probably start with a handful of smart home products, but before you know it, it could be pushing 50 or even 100 devices in your house with numerous automations set throughout the day. So first of all, organize your smart home in a way that kind of makes sense, utilizing good names for devices, rooms, zones, and automations. Zones can be a great way to control multiple rooms at once with Siri. I have an upstairs, a downstairs, and an outside zone, for example. Automations can really start to add up quickly over time. The Home app now does give you the ability to name your automation, so it's easier to know, which one is which and what does what. Take this even further and use the Controller for HomeKit app. With this, you can use filters, smart folders, and even create rules to make it easier to find and organize your automations and devices. So I know some people will create spreadsheets with all of their products and the information in there, which is great. Personally, I hate spreadsheets, so I really love the Controller for HomeKit app. For something like this, it makes it so easy to find all the devices. I can find all the information I might need about any of my devices, including all the accessories and features that are exposed to HomeKit. I can see real easily if it's included in any scenes or automations, serial numbers, the firmware version, all that good stuff. What I really love too about this particular app is that it's available on the Mac, which I really like when I'm trying to organize and work on my smart home. Sometimes I just like to sit at my MacBook and do this kind of stuff. Another great one to mention is the Home Plus app. This one will show you all the different device types, also lets you create folders for automations. You can customize the view and a lot of other really good things in the Home Plus app. And this leads us to troubleshooting and maintenance. So the larger your HomeKit setup becomes, the more difficult it's probably going to be to figure out what's causing issues. Sometimes devices aren't really behaving like they should. So the Controller for HomeKit app has a really great maintenance feature. You can quickly find all the accessories that are unreachable, which ones have low batteries, if you have any duplicate names or serial numbers, which can also cause problems, how many more scenes you can create until you reach the HomeKit limit. Yes, there is a limit on the number of scenes that you can have in HomeKit. All kinds of great stuff here in this maintenance section of the Controller for HomeKit app. Definitely a useful tool to have. It also has a log feature, which can be really good when troubleshooting and trying to figure out what certain devices are doing. This again is especially great on the Mac because you can leave the app running and get a log of everything your HomeKit home is doing behind the scenes. The log feature does work on the phone too, but because of HomeKit privacy limitations, the app does need to be running and in the foreground on whichever device you use it on in order to collect the data for the logs. Another app that does this is the Home Log app for the Mac. So this is another great one on the Home Log app. Pretty nice app if you just need something for logging your HomeKit setup, and just good for troubleshooting and see what's going on behind the scenes. And tip number 5, possibly the most important tip for today, is backups. This is kind of like insurance. It's good to have, and hopefully you never need it, but if you do, you'll be glad you've got it. 2 apps that I know of that let you create and restore backups of your HomeKit setup are the Home Plus app and the Controller for HomeKit app, both of which we've already mentioned today. This can be helpful in a number of different ways. Of course, there's that disaster recovery scenario that we all hope we never have to encounter, but this is also great for things like seasonal setups where maybe you like to change your automations and things like that based on different seasons. This can also be useful for things like migrating your HomeKit setup from one Apple ID to another, or moving all your accessories to a new or different Wi-Fi network. The Controller for HomeKit app even lets you archive individual scenes and automations, which I love, allowing you to restore them again later. Again, perfect for those holidays or special events, automations and scenes that you don't want to utilize all year long. You can archive those scenes and automations, delete them from HomeKit so they don't clutter up things, the rest of the year, then restore them later on when you need them. There are some limitations to third-party HomeKit apps, for example, shortcuts, Apple TVs, HomePods. Things like that are Apple Home exclusive, so they won't be included in your backups. Just something to keep note of, but this backup and restore feature could be a really great thing to utilize if you're ever in a situation where you need it. And this just sort of scratches the surface. There are some really strong use cases for having an app like this, and I really do appreciate the tools that this app gives us. And that actually goes for all the apps mentioned here today and all the other third-party HomeKit apps that I like to use. So kudos to all the app developers out there giving us these tools that allow us to do more with our HomeKit setup. You guys are the true rock stars. Again, I'll put a link to my website down below for all of the HomeKit tools and apps that I like to use. Subscribe if you haven't already for new HomeKit videos just like this every Sunday. And if you want to support this channel even further, consider becoming a channel member. For about $5 a month, you can support this channel, which helps me to continue making these videos every week. And you'll also get access to some member-only perks like behind the scenes, access to our members-only Discord community, live video chats, and more. Thanks again to Trendmicro for protecting all of my devices and sponsoring today's video. Check out this other video right here for 5 of my favorite apps for HomeKit, some of which we did mention today. And over here is my HomeKit 101 playlist, which is great for anyone who's just getting started and want to know how HomeKit really works. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video.